McAdory Band of Gold is here. The McAdory cheerleaders are here. This is the stadium where the legendary Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson played his high school ball. McAdory, you could call it Smackadory tonight. We expect a hard-hitting game between the Yellow Jackets and Hueytown, the Friday night rivals game of the week. Welcome to Blitz Game Day, everybody. I'm Jeff Spiegel, along with Jamie Hale. And Jamie, this is a game with huge playoff implications.
Yeah, McAdory is 5-0, 3-0 in 6A Region 4, hosting Hueytown, who's 3-3, but also 3-0 in Region 4. So number one being the number one seed is most likely to happen here on this field tonight.
And this is the second time the Jackets have been showcased on Friday Night Rivals. They came out of the gate strong in the season opener with a 57-7 win over Pleasant Grove.
That was a statement win for sure. Darion Davis and Kawana Johnson ran wild against the Spartans. Those two have combined to run for 1,017 yards and 11 touchdowns so far.
And the man who runs this offense is Justin Patton, who last week led the Jackets to a cover-behind 21-20 victory at Central Tuscaloosa, which has put them in position tonight to take control of the region race.
Today's head coach interview is brought to you by Freddy's, and joining us now is McAdory head coach, Coach Holmes. Now, Coach, you told me back in August in the spring game you guys lost to Clay Chalkville, and that was kind of a wake-up call for you guys. How proud are you of your team and how they've responded so far this season?
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of these guys. You know, we talked about it after that game. You know, there's a lot of things we need to get fixed. There's a lot of areas we need to get, you know, tougher in and try to make some adjustments and to make sure that they understood when they got in those type of ball games, they knew how to respond. And, you know, you never want to, you know, get beat the way we got beat. But, you know, we saw what it took and what it's going to take to be one of the upper echelon teams in 6A. And they had a really good football team, and we wasn't prepared for what they was bringing. So we have definitely came a long way since then.
Yeah, Orville, we mentioned Davis and Johnson, but as a defense, I mean, you can't key on those guys because Patton is slinging it for you, and you've got weapons on the outside with Carter Fagan and Marcus Briggs.
Yeah, no, it's important to be balanced, especially in 6A. You know, it's hard to win football games in any classification if you don't have a quarterback, and we're blessed here to have one that is extremely talented. He's made some runs. You know, a lot of people don't give him a lot of credit for what he's done with his feet, but he's made some runs at timely situations. He can make every throw on the football field. So, you know, us being able to have the balance of being able to throw the ball when we want to throw it, run the ball when we want to run it has been extremely important.
How much fun are Fridays when you have this type of quarterback-head coach relationship as you do with Justin?
Oh, it's been awesome. You know, last week we were talking at halftime, and he said, "Coach, I think we need to do more of this and this and this." And I was looking at him thinking, like, "Hey, that's what we've been doing." You know, it just hasn't been working. So, but you know, he can come and tell me anything, and you know, on sidelines he'll come and say, "Hey, Coach, what are you thinking?" And I'll look at him and I say, "What are you thinking?" You know, because I want to do what he feels comfortable doing. Yeah. So we had a great relationship. You know, we talk a lot during the games and at halftime and stuff to try to make the right corrections and the adjustments that we need to make, and he's been really good with that.
9 straight losses to these Gophers.
Yeah.
This school hasn't tasted a region title in 10 years. A lot can get accomplished tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's still a lot of football to play for sure, but, you know, when you lose to a team 9 times in a row, I told our kids on Sunday, I said, we're either going to be the one or we're going to be another one. And that's either you're going to be the one that beat them or you're just going to be another one that lost to them. So I think the guys are super excited about the opportunity. You know, we have to come out and we got to execute well and play well. And, you know, we'll see where the chips fall when we get to the end of it.
All right, RVA, good luck.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
y'all.
All right, now let's talk about the Hueytown Golden Gophers, 3-3, but the only game they really had no shot in was Clay Chalkville.
Yeah, 2 of their 3 losses were to Mountain Brook and Hillcrest, both by a combined 4 points only. The Hueytown defense is exceptional. The Gophers are led by number 11 edge rusher Keegan Horn, a Cincinnati commitment. The front 7 runs to the ball. The guys on the back end will make you pay for an off-target throw. The Gophers are a confident, gritty bunch. They're ready for whatever McAdory throws at them or runs at them.
You know, we got a great D-line, and I feel like they got some 2 good backs, but I feel like we're going to come on top in that running game. So, yeah.
Good balance of speed and power. They're pretty physical. Thankfully, we're pretty good on defense in the box with our front 6 or 7, depending on, you know, what we're lined up in. But so that should be a challenge for us. And you know, that's when we play these games, right?
Yeah, Greg Patterson has won 4 region titles in 6 seasons at Hueytown, and he's got another good collection of athletes, including quarterback Jaden Powell. But one reason the Golden Gophers haven't been too golden in those close games, guys not stepping up and taking charge. That could determine if they win tonight and how far they go in November.
A lot of the games we just didn't finish in a lot of those games. So I mean, we just learning how to finish in those games and not get too comfortable when being up at halftime, because the majority of the time we was up at half, so just not getting comfortable.
And with every loss, I tell them, this means nothing if we don't learn from it. We have to go back and really tear the film apart and be able to look in the mirror and be honest with ourselves about what us as coaches could have done better, what players could have done better. And if we're willing to do that and be honest with ourselves, we always will get better.
Now, they're a pretty good bounce-back football team. We've been waiting for perfect football weather. Here it is, October 10th, and I think we finally have it.
That's right, and it's great to have James Spann here. And, James, it feels so good right now. I might take you up at that 100-yard dash coming up here, depending on how tired I am.
100 yards, the two of us, we're going to go. But yeah, you might recall we were actually here early in the season, and we had this huge summer downpour. It's a whole different story this evening here at McAdory. I mean, you can hardly find a cloud in the sky. Dew points are down, and once the sun comes down, temperatures cool down quickly. In fact, we might see some lows in the upper 40s in spots tomorrow morning. Here's a look at current temperatures, and you can see readings are generally in the 76 to 82 degree range across the state. We've got 76 degrees now for places like Anniston, Gadsden, 75 in Ashland, 74 in Centerville, Birmingham at 79, Tuscaloosa 82. We'll check the radar. We actually have had a few sprinkles today down over southeast Alabama, parts of Barber and Henry counties with a couple of sprinkles. But again, up this way, the air is dry. No rain tonight, no rain anytime soon. Here's our forecast for the game tonight. The sky will be clear, absolutely delightful. 69 degrees at kickoff, 59 degrees on the way home. College football and much more. That coming up in the 5 o'clock half hour. Jeff and Jamie, back over to you.
All right, thanks, James. Coming up on Blitz Game Day, we'll check in with Johnny Cogden, who's covering Moody Leeds, the battle for the bridge tonight.
And I'll chat with the McAdory Yellow Jackets field general Justin Patton as Blitz Game Day rolls on from the house that Bo built, McAdory Stadium.
Before this one.
I think it was the old one.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Hey,
Test 3232.
He's going down the road.
Yeah. Every time I knew I was at Leeds High School because I'd be a house.
Welcome back to McAdory High. Tonight on My 68, we've got two really good football teams going at it. The Yellow Jackets of McAdory, the Hueytown Golden Gophers, and you get the feeling something special could happen tonight. That'll be a story to tell at the 25-year class reunion and maybe beyond. And one guy who could make it a very special night for his team is McAdory quarterback Justin Patton. He's standing by with Jamie Hale. Jamie?
Thanks, Jeff. Justin, you guys were down 20-7 last game at Central Tuscaloosa, came back and won 21-20. What was said in that locker room at halftime for you to come out in the second half and do what you did?
We just had to get together as a team, really lock in and focus on what we really built over the summer and springtime while we were, practicing and stuff. And we just really had to come out and compete and fight.
You guys are at home tonight hosting the Gophers, who have beaten you guys 9 times in a row. What's it going to take to reverse and end their streak?
It takes definitely a lot of focus, not getting into all the other surrounding activities going on in school, being focused and locked in all night.
How in sync are you and your head coach right now on the game this season, and how much does that relationship help you out on the field?
We're very close, very in sync, I trust him, he trusts me, and it definitely helps on the field. Sometimes I see something on the field and it, tell him on the sideline and he'll call it.
All right, for the viewers that are going to be tuning in, watching this game on television tonight, what are they going to see from you out there?
I say just being a leader, just leading my team on even when things go bad, when adversity hits, just leading the guys on.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. We're going to send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Jamie and Justin. Well, if you get on I-20 East and head about 30 miles or so, there's another big rivalry game between Leeds and Moody. That's where we find Johnny Condon, who is covering the battle for the bridge.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. We love a named rivalry game, Battle for the Bridge. We'll get to the Moody Blue Devils in a second, but now we are joined by the head coach of the Leeds Green Wave. It is Jerry Hood. And Jerry, 5-2 on the year, 2-2 in region play. Just talk about your season to this point so far.
Well, it's been a season of big ups and a little bit of downs. The last 3 weeks, we had a close game last week. 2 weeks ago, we didn't play really well and had a big win in between against Briarwood. So we're excited to play tonight. Obviously, a region game, very important. So we're very excited to play against a great team.
This is a Moody team with identical record to you, 5-2. This is a rivalry that dates back a while. I know your kids get up for this game. What does it mean to have this game, the Battle of the Bridge, played at your home stadium tonight?
It's always fun. It's fun if you play at Moody. It's fun if you play at Leeds. It's one of the great rivalries in the central Alabama area. So we enjoy playing in it. I think it's been a solid rivalry for the most part. And Coach Gaines has really brought Moody along. So it's been an exciting game.
One of the trademarks of your teams, just defensively, you guys swarm to the ball, game tackle. They got a new quarterback tonight. The last few years they've had Charlie Johnson. Tonight they got Jake Lowry. What do you see on tape from him?
Well, he's a good quarterback. I've known Jake. His daddy went to high school with me, so we followed him a little bit. One of my coaches has a kid that plays at Trussville, so we know about Jake, and he's going to be a fine quarterback. I think he's done a great job for Moody this year.
It's Jerry Hood, the head football coach of the Leeds Green Wave, as they're ready to take on rival Moody tonight. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. We'll have all your highlights and reaction coming up tonight at 10. But for now, from Leeds, I'm Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 Sports.
All right, thank you very much, Johnny. Now we have Keith Pritchard, the director of the McAdory High Band of Gold, with us. By the way, that is one of the coolest names for a band
Thank you.
I've ever heard. But you got 100 total members. When you're watching them on Friday night, you hear everybody in tune, everybody in perfect step. How big of a payoff is that for you?
Oh, no, it's a great payoff. The hard work that these kids do on a daily basis, we're out there outside in the heat, just a lot of reps getting it done. But, we started back in July, so, we had 2 competitions so far. They've done extremely well, so it's been a great year so far.
Keith, we hear that your halftime performance is going to have us dancing out on the streets for young people, old people, generation. What's it going to be like?
Well, this year we're doing Motown Magic, or Magic of Motown. So we went back a little bit. We've played some more modern music recently, so I thought this year let's go back to Motown. Everybody knows Motown. It's classic.
It is.
So we're hitting Jackson 5, the Supremes, the Temptations. If you watch it, you're going to be able to sing along with the show for sure.
Yeah, and all the kids know the music.
They do. That was a shock when I mentioned it. I said, hey, we're going to play this song, they started singing it, and I'm like, oh, wow, you guys know this. This is great.
That's awesome.
Well, thanks, Keith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear more from the McAdory Band of Gold. Thanks to the McAdory Band of Gold. Up next, Jamie visits with the McAdory cheerleaders.
And today there was a big press conference talking about the upgrades they're making at John Carroll, the home of Pat Sullivan Field. We'll talk about that after the break.
Welcome back to McAdory High School, home of the Friday Night Rivals game of the week between the McAdory Yellow Jackets and the Hueytown Golden Gophers. Kickoff at 7 on My 68. John Carroll hosts Briarwood tonight. Major facility upgrades happening there. A 9,000 square foot strength and performance center, the largest video board in the state, state-of-the-art locker room facilities, and Pat Sullivan Field complete with a Heisman logo to honor the late, great Pat Sullivan, former Auburn Tiger, and John Carroll Cavalier. Big things happening at John Carroll. Heading into last night, we had a log jam in 7A Region 3. 4 teams tied at 2-2, including the Stavia Hills, who beat Oak Mountain 41-0. The Rebels now 3-2 in region play, 5-2 overall. Another team in that four-way tie for third, Hoover. The Bucks beat Tuscaloosa County 51-7 last night at the Met. The Bucks 5-3, 3-2 in Region 3. Hoover's next 2 games, Thompson at home, and then at Vestavia Hills. Wow. And we were in Cold Springs last night, where Coosa Christian beat the Eagles 41-8. Former Hoover coach Rush Probst leading the Conquerors to the 2A Region 6 title. And look, this is a team that could win a lot more games than that. It is a state title contender, no doubt. Cold Springs, by the way, 6-2, best start for them since 2014. And here, big night for McAdory, huge game against Hueytown, and the McAdory cheerleaders are ready. Jamie Hale is standing by with them. Jamie?
That's right. I'm with the pride of the cheerleading squad and the leaders of this cheer team. I want you guys to introduce yourselves as the captains.
Addison Gwynn. I'm Mackenzie Miller.
Okay, so I have to ask, what is this week's theme? What are you guys wearing?
Our theme this week is We Control the Traffic, so we showed up in construction gear.
I like it. Who came up with this idea?
It was mostly the cheerleaders. We all came up as it together, so.
How much fun is a Friday night here at McAdory, your home team coming in and a team that's beaten you guys 9 times in a row? What's it going to take from you as the cheerleaders to get the crowd on their feet and involved in this game?
I mean, we really just got to stay on our toes the whole time, really make sure that we're getting the crowd involved, and, like, we got to stay hyped the whole time. Like, we don't need to sit down, no breaks, no nothing. We got to really stay involved because the boys don't get a break, so we don't need one either.
Something else that adds on to it is the student section, because they get us involved and then we get them involved, so it's just all together, it's great.
And it's not just about the football players on the field. I mean, you guys are the heartbeat of this team, this program, the fans. Just how fun is it being on the sidelines every Friday night representing and wearing McAdory across your chest?
Oh, it's like the most fun that I have all week. I look forward to Fridays.
Me too. Friday's the best day of the week.
Well, can you guys show us what we're going to see on TV tonight? Do a little cheer? Thank you girls so much.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, girls. Appreciate you guys. Coming up, the last word from the Golden Gophers and Yellow Jackets. And as we go to break, here is the Ridgeline Roofing and Restoration Scholar Athlete of the Week. Congratulations to Anthony Robinson of Hueytown High School. Appreciate everything you do for this team and everything you do in the classroom and community. Blitz Game Day rolls on from McAdory right after the break.
live, streaming, and on the ABC 3340 app. This is ABC 3340 News at 5.
Bragging rights. A lot for Hueytown to brag about when it comes to playing McAdory. 9 straight wins over the Yellow Jackets, 4 region titles in the last 6 years. But here come the Jackets off to a 5-0 start. Not cocky, but more confident than they've been in a while. It's the Friday Night Rivals game of the week.
Sometimes when you go into these games, you try to create the slogans and you try to get the kids all juiced up and all that, and then when things don't go well, then they just tank on you. So, you know, it's business as usual. We're practicing the same way. We're teaching some of the same stuff.
We're starting off good this season, 5-0. I just feel like this season is different than any other season. You know, the team, everybody on one accord. You know, every class, like no one's really selfish, no selfishness on this team. And I know that my guys, the whole team, I know everybody want to win. So it's a home game. We got to show out.
I think we can go all the way. We just need to fit some small pieces, and once we figure out all them pieces, we can go all the way.
That game's always been, since I've gotten here, has always been a rivalry no matter what the previous year. They've played Little League together. It's always been one of those weeks you didn't have to do a whole lot to get the kids up and ready to practice and prepare for.
The Gophers and Jackets coming your way at 7 on My 68. Then at 10:15, watch the Friday Night Blitz on ABC 3340 for highlights of the top games in Central Alabama. And that'll do it for another edition of Blitz Game Day. Thanks to Coach Holmes, Justin Patton, Principal Andrew Reed, McAdory Band of Gold Director Keith Pritchard, and McAdory Cheer sponsor Tam Westbrook.
Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy this beautiful weather and some great football in the state of Alabama.